Ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems, weavers and listeners all, welcome to another episode of Occupied with Stardust and Dragons, where we discuss the lore, character developments, the story thus far, and occasionally have the cast on to talk about themselves and their character. Today, we have the Princess of Perturbation, herself, the authority on alarm and anxiety, the one, the only, coming in a constant state of panic. Please welcome Rayna McGuire.
Hi. Oh my God. I love all of those titles for her.
Applause. We have an applause button somewhere.
We do have to have an applause button. Just
Insert applause here.
Insert applause
There you go.
here.
So this episode 6 was kind of interesting because you guys went into this very illustrious manor and had to be social, and Constant is none of those things.
Banana milk.
Yeah, banana milk. And not even wanting to go,
awesome.
And then suddenly is like, well, Lyrax dressed you, and you're just there along for the ride.
If nobody notices her, she is great. She's having the best time.
And I kind of want to get into what your thought process was or Constance's thought process going into this party, because I know obviously you said she didn't want to be noticed, but was there some inner monologue you had going on?
Oh, inner monologue. No, just head empty.
Wallflower. Just don't
just
look
keep
at me.
it down.
Nope.
Lyrax seems to have this love that for him, and I'm just gonna be over here with the milk. While she's monologuing, while oh my gosh, while the owner of the manor is monologuing about things, Constance just actively zoning out the entire.
Well, I always thought when I was listening to the episode, because it had a lot to do with Stardust, or as Estrella calls it, Sparkle.
Yes.
Which I personally love. And props to CJ, because that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was really good. But what I kind of look at Constance, because she started out the series in the first episode with working in Aurora with Stardust. So I thought she would have been completely fascinated by the different uses that Estrella had for Stardust, with the sculptures and the painting that looked alive and stuff like that. So I kind of you even said when after the painting was shown, that Constance actually walked up to it and looked at it and was kind of fascinated by it.
Oh yeah, when she was zoning out thinking about the Stardust, but she was kind of too afraid of bringing attention to herself and Estrella herself to ask her anything about it. So she's like, this is really cool, but I am also really not supposed to be here.
Yeah, definitely the whirlwind of it all when Miss Mapo, God love her.
Oh yeah.
Mapo.
When she told you to go find Lucky, and then you got stuck with the two short men and Lyrax and were whisked away, you were like, what the hell is going on?
Oh yeah.
I thought you played it really well. I've said it before, and I've said it, and I'll say it every time I talk to you guys. I have fully enjoyed watching the progression of your characters as you fall into sync with each other and just become more comfortable with it. It's a joy to listen to, and to see the interactions between you all. I truly love it.
Thank you so much. We were just saying after we're on Arc 2 now recording, but we just now felt like we really got it together.
Yeah.
I'm scared to listen to the early recordings. I really would have done that scene again if it was up to me. But
No,
yeah,
I mean,
y'all were
it's
still
real.
getting.
Go ahead, pup.
Oh, y'all were still getting into your characters, so I completely understand why it would sound you're
And
still learning what they like.
We're enjoying it completely because we've, other than our guest appearance that won't happen for a long time, we haven't heard anything except episodes 1 through 6. So we're still getting it fresh. And what you guys have done and the production and the whole crew and the cast it's been a cool ride just to listen to it, and then to be on this side and be, you know, the after show stuff is fun to get behind the scenes stuff.
So happy to have you guys along for the ride too. It's so fun.
We're happy to be here. We
Can't
are.
wait for everybody to hear you guys. I love you guys' characters so much.
There was a lot of genuine surprise there. I enjoyed that.
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, they're so happy.
That's a good segue just to help us both podcasts out. If you want behind the scenes content, we have a Patreon page. This dungeon is occupied for our main podcast Patreon, and then Stardust and Dragons has it at /Speakeasy Productions, and it's $5 to get in. I'm a member, and you get a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of the extra content of like the full recording of what they do. Get to listen to how these true actors get ready for their craziness. I can't even do the tongue twister that Dan was doing during that whole thing, so
I don't even try.
Rubber baby bubber, but yeah, it's
yeah, that was Brandon. Rubber baby buggy bumpers.
Yeah.
Nope, can't do it.
Nope.
Rubber baby buggy. Nope.
So for constant, yeah, it's a tongue twister. For constant, a little throwback to episode 5 with this is actually a part that for a while there was actually missing from the actual download, was Constance, right before Constance fight with, not fight, I guess it was competition, it was a game.
Yeah.
What were you thinking when that happened? What was constant her mindset of actually being pushed to the forefront like that when she obviously so much doesn't want to be?
Well, I was mostly thinking about the spells that I had, because as Constant, who was someone who's very non-combative, like she has, against spells like an NPC would have. She's got like mending. She can do a little light trick. So like, this was fun in that there weren't like horrible stakes to whether or not she was able to pull something out magically. So that was a little more fun, a little more lighthearted. Yeah, I think for once she wasn't terribly worried that everything would go wrong.
And at this time, what for episode 6, what level was Constant?
It's like, level am I now? She's only like level 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she's only level 3 right now at this moment in time.
At this moment, she's a shiny new level 4, but
shiny.
Yeah, at the time,
you're a level 3 wizard.
She's just like a toddler in a room full of guns. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is wrong.
And now you're just a part of the crew. You got your own lazy boy and everything.
Yeah.
It's a whole new ball game. It's been like what, a week? So.
Yeah.
When they were talking about the assassin and the knives that would definitely kill Constant, they were not wrong.
They were not wrong. At any given point, Constant could die. So she has a reason to panic.
I just love how genuine the panic is too. It just comes across perfect. It's even in the introductions, because all of you as a group do great introductions every episode. You introduce your characters, who you are, what you're doing, and the one time when Constant, I am Constant and I'm scared.
Yes.
Exactly.
She's done the equivalent of trying to take like a cross-city bus, and the person next to her decides to pull out a gun. And she's like, oh, okay. This is fine now. We're holding up the bus? All right.
So,
Okay, now,
on
go ahead.
Out of curiosity, I know much like I know that Constant is a wallflower character, so we haven't seen a lot of her backstory and like her background pop up, just like pieces of it, giving us like little tidbits of it and everything. Is there going to be a Constant centric episode later on in the future?
I definitely think there will be. There's already some things a brewing to where Constant is going to have to do some main character moves, and that's
Nice.
very much not her, but she's gonna have to come into her zestiness, come to her spiciness.
I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
So
Like it's gonna be like when you find a feral kitten and it's like, I'm scary, and you're like, no, you're not, but that's okay.
You're adorable.
Fear me.
I love the voice.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
voice and the fact that she's just one of many very short characters throughout this whole campaign.
We did
Just-
not plan on our party being so short. It just
It's like all the short ones in Lyrax.
Yeah.
It's like, Max, really? You're the only one that made a tall character.
4 foot, 4'6", 4'4", 6 foot.
yeah, Alex is having a great time. His back is just gonna be in shambles by the end of this.
So the relationship between Constant and Lyrax kind of bloomed episode 5 into episode 6. It really came across as the definite big brother, little sister, very protective of you.
It's like how every introvert is adopted by an extrovert at some point. That's what's happened.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And it does help to, I guess it helps to make Constant feel more comfortable. And but it's funny because it's definitely a symbiotic relationship. Because I can tell that you help him, and I think almost Lyrax's outgoing, his extrovert, I guess it kind of helps him to have somebody to protect, being a nobleman and a paladin. It seems like it seems like Max really feeds off of that a little bit, and it kind of makes it go a little smoother, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think really brought about the relationship with Lyrax and Constant?
Honestly, I think it's kind of based a bit off our relationship in real life.
Okay.
Yeah, we're very supportive of each other and such. So I think like this was just a natural progression where he's like, your character's doing this, okay, I will protect this character.
I love that. That's
I was also gonna say it's an interesting point in Lyrax's story too, to have another little sister figure.
yeah, especially after losing his sister.
Yeah, so it might be like a bit of a like she's still here. Like I don't have to like think about the reality so much right now, or maybe just like I'm not entirely sure. I'll have to ask how Lyrax feels about that once once it's known.
What's hilarious is that I put that together, the little sister, the brother one. You put that together. Other people put that together, and then we asked Lyrax. It's just like, oh, I never thought of that.
Oh, of course.
And I was like, wait.
That was like episode 4 or 3 when we figured that out.
Yeah, we're like, that's
oh, Lyrax.
like-
Oh, Max.
Love Max.
Oh my God.
She's
Max
great.
is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually had her on 2 episodes.
Mhm.
I love her title for Lyrax. I'm the pretty kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely doing some fan art of that.
Ooh, I can't wait to see it.
Have you done art for Stardust and Dragons yet?
Yeah, I'm working on a party portrait now.
Oh, sweet.
When I was making Constant, the first thing I did was a little sketch of her. Let's see if I can pull it up. Yay, my iPad's not dead. That's new.
Relatable.
Every time I'm like, I need you, it's dead.
Yeah, dead or at 2%.
Oh
You're
my
like, oh
gosh.
great, I turn it on and it turns off.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know.
That's
how
me
well
with
you
my
can
headphones, my Apple Watch,
yeah.
Oh, no.
my phone.
turn this off. Oh. Is that better? Oh, it's
Oh,
just
a little
blurry.
bit.
My dog-
Almost there.
Okay, turn off the blur, maybe. Where are there? Not... Oh my gosh! No, no, so many buttons. wrong one.
That ain't blurred.
There we go. So there's my
Okay.
girl.
Oh, cool.
Oh,
That's awesome.
love it.
Go
Yeah.
with her book.
Aw.
That is
Love it.
awesome. Sponsored
Yeah.
by Space Hands.
Yeah. That's like my favorite running gag when we run into something. It's like, this is just a space that thing now. We were introducing Miss Maypo, like she runs a space bodega. I don't know if they have a different word for bodega in space, but that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's what it is from now on. Space bodega.
we have this running gag that Miss Mapo is actually going to be the BBEG at the end of this.
Yeah, she's the main villain. She's
Yeah.
Oh no.
Because Miss Mapo knows things was the tagline, and it just that
It's
sounds
like
very villainous.
Yeah.
Oh no, Miss Maypo, you were like one of my people. One Miss Maypo.
Well, I mean, she could still be your people. It's just that, you know, she has these nefarious things in the background, you know? I mean, when you run a bodega, I mean, you have to do
Oh,
some
no.
things, you know?
She runs the whole
kind of
universe.
evil.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Why she's always drunk
She's-
at the desk if she's still making money. How is this bodega
Yeah,
operating?
She's not evil. She just does evil things.
Yeah,
There's a
she's not
difference.
evil. She just does evil things.
You see the
She's
door open.
not, she doesn't like she won't like watch people die, but like she will give the orders for people to be dead.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
do
can't
a
wait.
whole fan story on this.
I
It's
can't wait for
literally
the
like
stinger
a-
before like the final battle, and you hear like a door open, like, shh. Hello, Zalin.
That's
And I
R3.
piss myself.
I would die.
That'd be great. I would love that so much.
It's like that Darth Vader.
So hey
scene,
Brandon,
the
lightsaber.
if you're listening to this, you need to change up the story a little bit.
Sorry.
Miss Maypo, no.
It's a complete Darth Vader moment. Plain and
It has
simple.
to be. Instead of I am your father, I am Miss Mapo. So
she still
You're
hits
looking
on
a little
Brendan.
tired.
yeah.
Yeah.
out of these first 6 episodes, what's either your favorite episode or what's your favorite moment in time, from like getting the band together up to meeting Estrella, and kind of, you know, and getting that black card for shopping and stuff?
Oh, my favorite moment. For some reason, the only thing coming up is a scene I think we might have cut. I don't know. Where we're like,
Hey, bonus content, we can cut that
Bonus
out.
content. At one point, we're all fighting this like giant robot. This like, it's like a guard robot. Or we're all like trying to fight it, and we're all just doing the most our character things that can be thought of. Like Constant is tripping and like getting fall damage from a rock and like trying to climb it, and like, meanwhile everyone else is doing like useful things, and she's just like, I'm also here. Like, one of us has been kidnapped by the robot, the others are like actively fighting it, doing damage to it, and I'm just like Constant's just hanging on for dear life.
That sounds like Constant.
Oh,
Level
that's
3 wizard. I'm so sorry.
She's
And-
working
and-
on it.
It's really funny because a lot of people, when they're playing Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop RPGs, it's really hard to play to your character, especially in battle.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because like me as a person know what I can do to beat this thing, but will my character know that?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a thing, and the fact that you did it like that, I love it. It's so great because
I
that's
always, like,
just
I have
little
no
chaos.
because like I've tried to build her that way. Like, what spells would Constant take? I would have taken this because it would be
Perfect.
useful for an adventure, but Constant wants none of that. She wants-
Right.
So like, what can
Yes.
we do with mending in this situation?
Mending is useful for things. Just
Yeah,
not
if
the
it
Well,
was
she's-
situation.
I could see her thinking that, well, she trips a lot, so she rips her clothes. So mending would be
Yeah.
helpful.
Exactly.
in everyday situations, but it forces you to find creative ways to use things.
That's actually
Exactly.
really cool. Like that's
Yeah.
an interesting challenge to like, okay, you don't get combat spells. These are what you have, and go forth and roll some dice. I don't know.
I believe in you.
Yeah.
Have fun.
That could be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh,
I was inspired
mic
by
drop.
Sorry.
Christian actually, who in another game we played had Gust of Wind, and he's like, "This is my spell.
Nice.
I'm gonna use it in every situation."
Was that in Fate's End?
Yes.
Yeah.
And my character had a weird homebrew thing where she was like half of her weight or whatever, so we just referred to it as her bird bones. She was just very light. And Christian was like, "Can I make her fly with the gust of wind and her bird bones?" And our poor DM was like, "Why is this what you devoted your time to?"
Hey, it's a one-liner, and if I nat 20, it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Constance is a wizard, and we're talking about spells. What is your favorite spell to use?
Ooh, like just in general, or like as
Yeah.
this character?
In general.
Let's see, in general.
I say both. Give me both answers, damn it.
Yeah,
Fair
Because
enough.
I want to know about Constant too.
Give me the lore. Give me the lore. By the way, what's going on right now? Tell me all the secrets.
Oh, shush.
Oh,
Spoiler
right now.
alert.
Right now, you'll see Constant as you have never seen her before, and that is panicked and in denial. So this is very special for me, actually. Like,
Oh no.
oh,
Never
but-
seen that.
You know, I really feel like Constant is like one of those like really scared animals. So it's like
Yes.
they're there. If you leave them alone, it's fine. But at the moment you corner it, they will fight back.
Yes.
And that's what I'm waiting for. And I'm
She is a prey animal.
so excited.
Opportunistic predator.
No, yeah.
I got it. So my favorite spell is the one where you can like summon a little door with a little rope that comes down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
don't get to use it much, but I like it because I like the idea of there being like a combat, and I just like nope, and I just climb my little rope and I go into my little rope.
Oh, what is that spell called?
You have to know the password.
Pocket dimension, something like that?
I was like,
Rope trick?
oh, it's-
Rope trick. That's
Rope
the
trick.
one.
Yeah.
I love that.
I knew that. It came right to my head when she said it, and I was like, "It's rope trick,"
I think
and
it's
I didn't say
something about the
anything. I
rope.
don't know why.
And then what about Constant? What's her other than mending? What's her favorite spell?
Because I was going to say, I bet it's mending.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
It's
fix
amending.
it. Like that's all I'm gonna do. Let's see. Right now, in her arsenal,
I could
think
see
her-
constant like people arguing, and she's like casting mending, and she's like, "I'm just trying to mend the relationship."
why isn't it working?
Why isn't it working?
Technically, it's broken. I can fix it. Her best friend right now is definitely disguised self,
Okay.
but I think her,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think a fun one for her would probably be like illusory script.
Hmm.
She has a lot of
Wow.
notes, and those are her notes.
Now,
Like-
I remember from the very first episode when she took all of her notes for her projects,
Mhm.
everything she took was hers. Stuff that she
Yes.
came up with. She made a point to say that.
Depending
Several
on who you
times.
ask. Yeah.
So is all these notes going to come into play at some point?
Definitely. They're about to, actually. Maybe.
Ooh.
If she has her way, they won't. But Constant rarely gets her way. So
Awesome.
Now the big thing about episode 6, so I'm gonna pull us back on track a little bit. Episode 6 was basically the Estrella party,
Mhm.
and it was all to get a quest, basically.
yes.
And you're going after to a key.
Mhm.
So it's a key quest, and you're going after a key,
Mhm.
and to save Estrella's great love.
Mm-mm. More or less.
More or less. This is what we're at right now. You know
As far as
stuff
we
we
know.
don't know yet. As far as we know right now, that's what it is.
Tell me your secrets. What do you know?
what-
They're Estrella's secrets. And she will tell no one.
when the quest came up and you heard the dangers, what was Constant thinking?
This actually comes up like first thing in the next episode.
I swear.
Because as you know, the party, at least the rest of the party, have quite the habit of just doing stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Especially the two short men, they hear a job and they're like, we'll take that. Constant likes to have information which is in short supply.
Mhm.
So for her, just being like, oh, we're taking like a mystery job from a woman we don't know with dangers we cannot possibly begin to quantify. Great. Is this like a majority vote or?
That actually brings up another question I have. When you did the whole thing with going back and forth with your stories, the two short men wanted to know who you were,
Mhm.
and they said, "Okay, you're part of the crew." Did Constant want to be part of the crew?
She does not know. Like, at this point, it's advantageous.
Yeah.
She might not exactly know everything about these people or agree with everything they do, but so far, they've kept her safe, and she's achieved the goal, which was to get off planet. They're friendly enough, and you know, it's kind of a devil you know versus devil you don't know kind of situation. But as things come out about how they feel about her former employer,
Yeah.
she even
The
gets to
argument.
wonder,
Yeah.
she's like, whether or not I like these people, is it going to be feasible for me to stay with them?
Mm.
So she'll tell little bits and pieces, but she's trying to stay on the good side, at least of everyone, which entails them not knowing everything. She's playing a very difficult game right now.
Yeah. And I love when you said, "Oh, they keep Constant safe," and I was like, "Do they though?" Because episode 2, there was a
really?
flamethrower involved and some guards, and like
Okay,
it
they'll
was
put her in dangerous situations, but they won't let her die in them.
Okay, fair enough.
It's like when you let the 8-year-old watch the baby and you go partying.
Mhm.
It's a dangerous situation, but will he die?
Yeah.
Probably not.
But did you die? No.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
fine.
I mean, hey, you
That's
got
the way I
out
was
of it,
raised.
so. So something that we do with everybody so far is we create an NPC. So if you're down for that, we could do a creation little.
Always, I
little
love
tidbit.
an NPC.
Awesome.
Yeah, it all stems from us. We do this on a weekly basis on our Patreon. Another plug.
Yeah.
Always.
But it's just off the top of your head. It's a fun thing we do, and we like to put Brandon in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Because we tend to talk to him a lot more than we talk to everybody else because he's the DM, and we kind of make him go off of you guys, and it's been so much fun.
Yeah. It was funny
always
because
fun to make the DM do stuff they didn't plan on doing.
yeah. Well, it was
Oh,
funny
yeah.
because he kind of did it to himself because in episode 2 of Occupied With, he made an NPC with us and we made a Dying Heart. And Thorn was like, "Man, it would be super cool if you actually like put them in." He was like, "What do you mean if I'm gonna put this in?" And so so we made the character. So I mean, if you go listen to episode 2, you can hear a Dying Heart that might show up in your future. But then Max came on and we made another NPC, and we just so happened to have an interview on the main podcast with Brandon the next night. And so we're like, "Okay, hey Brandon, we came up with an NPC. Can you come up with a military installation that's just, you know, somewhere here out in space?" And he's like, "Okay, well," we just kind of went into it. So now we've come up with a military installation. Dan came up with this Goblin Repo Man. It has been an interesting series.
Yeah,
Goblin Repo Man. That sounds terrifying and wonderful.
It is.
and it's gonna be in Stardust and Dragons at some point. So
I can't wait.
So with that in mind, what is your favorite or a kooky race / species that you like to play?
I've grown fond of furbolgs since Vincent's.
Ooh,
My little cow people, my little cow fairy giant.
How fairy giant? That's a first.
Yeah,
They're so cute. I love them.
they are.
Okay. Thorin, why don't we come up with a name?
A name?
Yeah.
You
Why
just drop a name on me like that.
Every time.
Yeah.
Would you rather
Every
me
time.
ask Pup?
No,
You could ask
no,
Okay, that's what I thought.
no.
I'll give you a
No.
salacious name.
Never.
Like saucy.
Let me think. Let's think of a class or a job first.
Okay.
Then
we
I'll
can
come
do
up with
that.
a name.
Okay. A
Mm,
cow
Class or
fairy
a job,
person.
you say. Cow fairy person.
Okay, you know what? What about an employee at Miss Maple's bodega?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Stalker.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh, that's not a stalker, like a stalker, like an S.
They stock shelves.
It's
Yeah.
not a stalker, but a stalker.
Yeah.
It does not stalk.
English sucks.
Or it could be a stalker.
We'll just leave that with you. Let you decide.
We'll leave that. We'll let
There you
that-
go. All right, an employee
Really
stalker
interested
at
in
the
this
bodega.
one shelf that Miss Maple was near, like all the time.
Okay, and what we're
You mean a
gonna
bodyguard
make.
for the big bad.
Lots to kill Brendan when she's interested.
It's a stalker and a bodyguard.
Okay,
It's a very unassuming person that works in this bodega, but it's actually a guard.
I like it.
All right.
And her name is let me think. I'm stuck on E names because of Estrella. I've been listening to that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with Katrina Beauregard Johansson.
Okay.
I just
Katrina
threw that all.
Wait.
Beauregard.
Let me write this
Hey,
down.
I can't
Johansson?
help it. I can't help it if her father wanted a boy.
Oh, okay. So what was it? Was
Scarlet?
Katrina Beauregard? What was the last?
Johansson.
Johansson.
Why? Because I just finished watching something about Norse gods. So
Oh, okay.
stuck in the brain.
Fair enough.
very fitting. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Brian and Rayna can tag team this part, but as the party meets Katrina, what would be either something that the party sees this NPC doing, or it maybe there's like a fetch quest or something from the bodyguard? What do you guys think?
See, my instant thought is just like a murder.
Okay, is
You
this
know,
person
that's fair.
murdering or investigating?
Murdering
Okay,
would be my
All right.
go-to.
Okay, maybe someone's like sniffing around the bodega.
yeah.
Like, hey, why don't you come out back and help me with something
Just-
here? Like, let me...
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That would be how they figured out that it's she's not just a stalker, she's not that kind of
interesting.
stalker pup, but also
but also
a bodyguard.
sometimes
Also security.
Like blood all over the box, and she's like, "Yeah, he left."
ooh.
Have you seen-
Inching out and like kicks us hand aside.
And this is where you have to learn how to get rid of bodies.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you grab that mop for me, homeboy? Let's go.
I wonder.
Why is it so heavy? Don't worry about it.
You're just
New product.
Yeah,
you're
it's like,
asking way too many
what, a dead weight,
questions.
huh?
I wonder what kind of a class would this bodyguard have? Would it be like a like I'm thinking of like a blood oath type thing, with Miss Mapo. So would it be a warlock
Mhm.
situation where Miss
Or
Mapo is
a-
the patron, or
Literally,
a paladin?
pays the money to the.
I was thinking more like paladin
Okay.
or yeah, I think paladin. Maybe an oathbreaker paladin.
Ooh.
Okay.
Miss
But whose
Maple,
oath
thank
would have?
God.
Yeah. Well, whose oath would have been
Whatever
broken?
original god she was with, she broke to serve Miss Mapo.
Okay, I like that.
There's an underlining obsession that I like here that's going on.
You realize that we've just turned Miss Mapo into a badass, like severely.
This is what I was saying. That, like, you gave us this question, and my first thought was just murder.
Yeah.
It's the religion of Maypo. Got it.
Religion
No,
of
Miss
Maypo.
Maypo.
Interesting.
Religion of
I can see
Maypo.
this. I can see this furball just teaching somebody how to protect Miss Maypo, and it's like, well, here's the dead body. Just sprinkle a little Stardust on here, and then it goes and it teleports away, and it's just like we don't know where they go,
Where does
but
it
they
go?
go somewhere.
Who cares?
We don't care.
Yeah.
Who
Too
cares?
many questions.
Where does it
Away
go?
from
Not
here.
here. That's
I like to think they
interesting,
make little
though.
jokes alluding to the fact that they've murdered many people and nobody takes it.
Right. But everyone's like too afraid to ask the question. Like, hey, does Miss Maypo? Don't ask. Just don't. Seriously, no. Seriously, just stop right where you're at.
I don't know what you're saying. I can't understand you.
No.
There's this reporter that's just like investigating the slew of dead bodies that appear all over the universe. It's like there's definitely a connection here. I know there is.
Stardust
Like-
murders.
Meanwhile, all the other NPCs are like casting uncomprehend language. Like, no, I don't speak your language. I can't talk. Nope, sorry.
I don't speak common. You just
Yeah.
did. Nah.
Nah.
No, I didn't. I did not. You're still speaking it. No, I'm not.
And now
I know enough
I'm
common to
thinking,
answer these exact 5 questions.
right. Now with the verbiage of religion of Maypo, I'm thinking of like a Death Eater-esque cult, just like
Oh
a
my
secret
God.
tattoo, and just this, Katrina
Just to a
has
nice
just
little old
formed-
lady. In the
Yeah.
bodega.
Miss Maypo has
This-
no idea, but Katrina's just got this underground cult for her. It's like,
Would
you don't
you-
understand. Protect
know,
her
I
with your
could-
life.
I could totally see that too.
It just
Those are
cracks
my
me up.
two.
We do all this off of an NPC that Brandon wasn't even sure he was going to do a voice for in the beginning.
Yeah, but he
It was
did. And that was
literally
his mistake.
It was literally just to launch Constant, and we've just taken it so far
It
above
all
and beyond.
comes
We-
back.
he made the fatal mistake of making Miss Maypo likable.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
As he
here we
frequently
are.
does.
Yeah.
And it
here we are
works
now.
great because Miss Maypo is a kobold, and kobolds are, primarily like cultish, and
Yeah.
it's a whole thing. I mean, hey, full circle.
Kind of reminds me of if you've ever seen that manga, I think it's gonna be an anime on Netflix or something, on Way of the House Husband, where this guy used to be like Yakuza and now he's a house
Oh,
husband.
yeah.
And he just approaches everything with that same ferocity. That's how I feel like this. I feel like Miss
Oh,
Bo
man.
is.
That is good.
Just I will
Miss
serve.
Maypo made the mistake, or like the good deed, of helping a like recovering cult leader like out once. It was just like it went downhill from there. They're like, well, now I have to worship her.
Damn it! Again.
She's a little overzealous, but she's got the right idea. She's got a good heart.
Every
In the
time Miss
background.
Maypo's gonna go to the basement, Katrina's like, no, I got it. It's fine. No, you don't need to go in there.
Are you gonna get more tomato sauce on your feet? You always get tomato sauce on your shoes every time you go down there. I don't even think you stock tomatoes.
And she doesn't know about the religion at all.
None. No.
It's all just worshiping her. She doesn't know why are there
Which is
people
interesting.
outside bowing.
I don't think that it would happen in this campaign. But,
No.
if it was like one of our games, for sure, because we run a rule, like if you fervently believe in somebody to be a god, they become one eventually. So
Yeah.
like if Katrina just made this cult and they prayed enough, Miss Maypo just becomes a demigod and eventually just goes up the ranks. It's just like, hey, who are these people? Is that Soul? Is that just Paladin in the background?
Now I need to know, because I know it only takes a certain amount of people to technically qualify as a church in the US. Now I need to know the space rules. How many people does it? How many
Oh,
followers
no.
do you have to have before you're
More
a
work for
religion?
Brandon.
You're just
And think about it. I'm gonna ask. This is a serious question.
Do it.
How many
It is.
followers to make?
and when you ask
religion.
Brandon this, when you ask him, tell him it came from this.
Absolutely.
And how
Because
many
I'm starting to enjoy giving him extra work.
in a world where clerics and warlocks exist, how much does it take for it to be a religion and then also give people power? Like,
Ooh,
like
good
you
question.
can draw
Oh.
abilities off in the
That's
religion
what-
Yeah.
Apparently, small to medium churches are 100 to 350. We can clear that easy.
We're gonna have Mapo warlocks running around.
Yeah.
people carrying around little sigils, and they're like, what is that? And it's just like a picture of Miss Mapo, but it's like a bad picture of Miss Mapo. It's like a candy one, and it's like, it's my
Like
religious
she's drunk.
symbol.
She's had a few bottles. It's just
Yeah.
A mugshot?
The bodega is the main
That would be
church.
great. A mugshot of Miss Mapo. And we have an artist right here with Rayna
no,
that we
she's
could
got
just
a few. I've definitely drawn a mugshot after this.
Oh,
This is
goodness.
perfect.
Oh, good
What have
Lord.
we done?
I know.
We've ruined everything.
It's been made infinitely better for me. So
Yeah.
And they're gonna say Miss Mapo is getting in trouble, and Constant will be like, huh? Miss Mapo just helps people. No,
Yeah, she
they've
just
leaked
drunk
this
in public
series of
again? Like-
they linked this series of deaths back to her bodega, huh? Oh, good Lord, we're gonna have like Criminal Minds space.
Oh, that would be great.
Yes.
Some kind of thing. Because there's like heist episodes that could happen. There's just exploring episodes, obviously, and then now we have this like a detective kind of thing that could happen with Katrina and Miss Mapo. And just like, all right, who's the Inquisitor? Like, just get into it.
It's like what was it, that a series of comics about the people who do insurance for like superheroes and stuff. They're like, did you have Superman insurance on your building? I'm sorry.
What was it called? It was called Damage Control.
Yes, and I feel like
Damn it.
everyone should have a side show like that, or people have to deal with the
That would be
consequences
cool.
of the main storyline.
Yeah. That'd be an
What have you
interesting thing to throw to the rest of the cast and crew of Speakeasy Productions. It's just like, could we just have a sideshow? Like, I mean, 5-minute episodes, really, but like just these little snippets of random shit that comes up, that would be interesting. So we probably need to go a little bit over the rest of episode 6.
Oh, right.
For this, right? There's a little bit more.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
We do tend to go off on a tangent on these things, man.
yeah. So
I've
Thor,
got
if you
ADD.
could,
This is just normal convo for me.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't even rolled dice yet. Thorin, if you could bring us to the last little bit after Estrella's dinner and stuff, and the last little bit of the episode, and then we'll do our final thoughts and go into bonus content after the episode.
Okay, first of all, I do want to say that they did an introduction of Klaus,
Mm-hmm.
who we know from some behind the scenes stuff that he does become like a constant NPC, I guess. Not-
Or he's
I
at
didn't
least
mean
brought
it to-
up a bunch of times.
He's brought up a bunch of times. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
He's one of those Christian
Uh,
would not let stay in NPC. He's like, no, I like this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like Christian really drilled it home.
It was so
Like,
funny because
hard.
like his one-liner that Constant was like, you have a weird way with words, because Christian, or rather Brendan, was like, hey, you got to make friends because you don't know, but in 10 episodes he could be our savior. And Constant was like, episodes, what the hell?
That was perfect. I love that. And he actually said it again later too.
Yeah.
He's like, it's the episode thing I was talking about. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
You keep bringing that up. Is this like a thing in your head? Like,
That was with the musician, and I guess he was trying to get an
Okay.
intro to the musician. Was like, Klaus, can you hook it up, or it's the episode thing? I gotta make friends.
Yeah, he's definitely about that. Okay, so the
if a
episode
Christian
like
character's
they
gonna do anything, it's gonna be build an army.
oh
We're
man,
good at that.
I am good. I am
Ah.
very good at that.
I just had flashbacks.
I did too, Robbie.
Just ask Brian. Well, and I mean Illidan, and
Yeah.
I haven't built one in 1 of yours yet. It'll come.
Yeah.
I've built 2 armies, so I do it too.
Yeah.
So, coming back to the episode, Estrella brought all you together basically to check you out to make sure you were good enough, I guess, or the type that could help her with the quest. She gave you the key quest. She warned you guys about I'm gonna look at my notes here real quick. Kaylin.
I'm glad you did. I did not.
Yeah, I
Yes,
do take.
that one.
I never take notes for a game, but I take notes for these episodes. She said Kaylin's the bad because she took Jura, who's the one you're trying to save, to like I guess they're having a big party with all the merchant lords.
Mhm.
So basically, she's saying you need to do this tomorrow, and that's all the time you get.
Which is
So-
excellent.
Yeah, and it was very subtle the kind of wordplay because CJ did such a good job with it. The wordplay between her basically telling you, almost threatening you that if you don't succeed, you're done. I mean, that's what I really took from it. I'm like, is because she's like, if you don't succeed, I can't have anything to do with you. I'm like, oh, so that means, yeah, if you fail, nobody's going to help you at all.
You are on your own.
Yeah, so I could definitely see Constant kind of perking up at that.
Yeah,
But she
Constant
said,
feels very prickly
Yeah.
about Estrella.
I bet. Although I am curious to see what kind of conversation she has with you later, because
I
that was
will.
brought up. That was brought up that she wanted to talk to you about something, and I'm assuming it's about the use of Stardust.
Mhm.
But I'm curious.
And that
But-
is one thing. Lyrax talked a lot about Stardust with Estrella, and
Yes.
and I know, from our episodes talking to Max, that Lyrax is always trying to like subtly get friends to help Lyrax's planet out, and so was trying to get a feel for Estrella, and then seeing these sculptures made of Stardust, he's like, oh, maybe not a friend.
But he did, or she did ask, or Lyrax asked for help in that.
Yeah.
And Estrella kind of said, I'll look into it, but this is a really small thing I'm asking. You're asking for the universe.
Yeah.
So we'll see where that goes. But you could definitely
Indeed.
tell by the end of it, Lyrax hates Stardust.
Oh yeah, Lyrax has very clear feelings about things.
Oh, yeah. So I'm curious to see where the relationship with Constant and her study of Stardust and use and all around love for the stuff and Lyrax's complete hate. Like, there's no room for anything else. It's just no.
I
Like-
am also interested. Constant is terrified, but I am interested. So that's
And then it was really kind of a point that Brandon had to make when Estrella, or at least CJ did, when Estrella gave Lyrax a pouch of Stardust before leaving. And CJ said the whole time that she didn't notice all the little quirks and things that Lyrax did against Stardust, his little facial expressions and stuff like that. But in the end, she gave him the Stardust and walked away without looking back at him. So I think she did.
yeah.
But-
I feel like Estrella embodies everything that Constant is currently very afraid of, and that is not knowing. And that's why you can't get too close to Estrella, because you don't know what she knows or how she'll react to you asking what she knows or knowing what she knows. And once you do know, you have to do something about it. And Constant is not in a place to do much of anything. So
That is one of
Yes.
the way that CJ played Estrella was great, was that you just weren't quite sure. You don't know if you can believe what she's telling you, Everything she said to you could be a complete fabrication. So it's very, it makes for good drama. Good drama there. You're just not quite sure what to think yet.
Yeah, she's one of those people who's always smiling, but her eyes are not, and that is very
Exactly.
disconcerting.
Yeah, like you can't trust her. She sounds like you can't trust her for anything she says whatsoever.
She'll help you out as long as it benefits her, but you don't know exactly what benefits her or what benefits you're giving to her. So
Yeah, I think there was a couple of insight checks, especially from Lyrax, and every time it was just like, yeah, I mean, you think you believe her, like he never got quite high enough on the insight check to be like, all right, this is definitely a lie. No, there was none of that. That was interesting.
Yeah, it was, and that was basically the end of the episode. It ended with you guys getting ready to go prepare for this little side quest you got to do. So
yeah, little side quest, little fun side quest in which no one almost dies repeatedly. Yep.
Woo!
Spoiler.
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, which we, at the time of this recording, we've caught up to the editors for episode 7. So we're waiting for them to finish editing episode 7 so we can get to it. But for now, for the listeners at least, remember that we both have Patreons, $5 entry to get in behind the scenes, stuff like that. And if you're listening to this off of Patreon, you're listening to it late. The patrons get the episode of Occupied With a day after Stardust and Dragons episode pops out. So if you're listening to this on Patreon, thank you for being a patron. We couldn't do it without you. And if you're not, you're listening to this a week late, and you could be listening to it early. You could see some of the artwork that's on Patreon. There's already I think there's 20 posts now on Patreon from different stuff. So hey, it's $5. It's a coffee. You could go ahead. You're missing out.
It's not even a coffee anymore.
I know.
Don't I know it? It was like $12.
From where?
Oh, it's a local place called Creme Brulee. They're amazing but expensive.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
So final thoughts, guys, for episode 6 and for Constant. What do we have?
Okay. Opinion episode 6 was a little slower, but a lot of information was given. There was a lot of stuff going on, and you kind of need to listen between the lines.
Yeah.
To see some of the undertones, especially between Lyrax and Estrella. I really want to try banana milk now.
Yes, it's so good.
Yes.
Find it any Asian markets, at least down
Really?
Here. Yes.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to go find banana milk because
Just talk to
I'm
Brian.
really curious.
I will bring some tomorrow.
You better.
Well, maybe now.
Constant, I enjoy her so much. I love her to death. After that first episode, I fell in love with her. She's such a joy with all of her anxiety and one-liners.
Yeah, maybe one day she will also know joy.
We're hoping for her.
Yeah.
It cracks me up that they put her so much in the first episode. Like, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is all about her. You get off world and no more.
Yep.
She's off world. She's happy.
I don't know that person. Knew me. What?
Yep. So yeah, I've enjoyed every bit of listening to Constant. Thank you so much for making such a lovable character.
Thank you for loving her. She's so great.
Pup.
So episode 6 had some really great, what I thought were pieces to the overall world building. So you got an idea of how the cluster worked and how everything was how everything's functioning, where Estrella lives sits in the hierarchy of everything. And so I liked it. I liked meeting her. She was a very amazing character. So that was fantastic. Constant has been an amazing piece of my listening experience the whole time. I talk about her consistently all the time, where I'm like, I want a constant centric episode. I want to see her let loose. I want to see what happens. And I'm not
Hopefully
disappointed.
Brian.
So kind of like touching on what Pup said, I'm definitely after in the same mindset. Everyone has kind of got like a lot of the spotlight on them, and I can't wait. That you already kind of hinted at the constant centric episodes or episodes, whichever. I'm just gonna have so much fun with like listening to that, and she's just been those one-liners have just been so great. Space Haynes is just stuck in my head now, and I can't wait for space things, more space things.
It's a Space Panda Express.
Constant like disappears a lot, and that's by design because she is trying to hide, but she's not going to be able to much longer, so that'll be fun for everyone.
Awesome. And before my last thoughts and the closing of the episode, where can we find Rayna McGuire other than on Stardust and Dragons and things? Where the people want to know?
Gosh. I'm a top tier lurker, but I do try to post. I'm gonna try to post more on Instagram and possibly Twitter. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see if
Awesome.
Twitter doesn't. It's been crashing and burning for a while now, and it hasn't died
Yeah.
yet. So maybe.
There might be a revival. We're not sure. I mean, it was a whole thing. X,
One thing I
yeah.
know is that I will always call it Twitter. X is stupid.
Damn right. I started calling it Twitter X because there were some people that didn't, like want to call it Twitter. I was like,
Yeah.
well, it's Twitter X. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they changed it to like
It's,
reposting or
and-
whatever, and I was like, I will retweet it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you're posting your X's, not your tweets.
That's so weird.
Ah.
But we'll have links down at the bottom. And for the listeners, we will have Dan Wood is working on summaries of each episode, and so not only will you get the info from us here in tidbits and talk about lore and stuff, and from the cast, but Dan is also doing summaries, and once they're digitized, as he says, because he has a notebook right now, we'll have it down in the show notes for each episode. But my final thoughts: episode 6 I like because I'm a lore buff, and it subtly doesn't seem like there's a lot, because it was a slower burn episode, and it was really just set into like one or two rooms. Like there wasn't a lot of different like quote unquote scenes, but you as far as the story goes, there was a lot of room for interpretation and definitely ideas of like where things could go from episode 6. And so I'm very excited for episode 7 and Constant. One-liners have been like abounding in this like whole show. Like everyone seems to like the one-liner kick, but Constant, I love when you said it was I'm in a constant state of panic. Just it works. I love it. So thanks again. Yeah, thanks again for coming on. And stick around for some bonus content after the episode. But for the listeners, remember to check your dungeons, because this dungeon is occupied with Stardust and Dragons.